What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counter Punch Boxing News, and I got some new news for you concerning Frank Warren. Frank Warren, his longtime rivalry with Eddie Hearn. It's always been a cold war, and it hasn't stopped now. And why should it? He's made a statement that Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury, whoever wins out of that fight, will be the number one heavyweight in the world, not Anthony Joshua. Emphasis, not Anthony Joshua. And the argument's out there. You know what I mean? I just seen a pro Wilder channel. I'm gonna leave it at that. And the reasons for because he agreed with Frank Warren that the number one fight would be, or the number one heavyweight would be the winner out of Fury and Wilder. And his reasoning was simple, is because, Fury beat Klitschko first. Fury beat Klitschko when Klitschko was undefeated for a numerous amount of years. Also, Wilder beat Ortiz, which was the boogeyman in the heavyweight division. Okay. And since those guys have won, and since Wilder is the WBC champion by beating Stavern, since these guys getting into the ring and they've done more, so to speak, than Anthony Joshua from fighting Martin and what's his name? Okay, the Samoan guy, Parker. Okay, so that's why, that was the reason for that, and the ways Joshua fought, and when he fought, because of course, Joshua fought Klitschko in a different time frame than Tyson Fury did. So that was his reason for that, and he agreed. I would have to disagree. Okay, simply because, first of all, I don't think Klitschko was in better shape I think he was in good shape for Fury, because I think Klitschko's always in good shape. But I think the style made the fights, and one of the arguments was Tyson Fury beat Klitschko better than Joshua beat Klitschko. But, they have different styles, so, they don't fight the same. Tyson Fury has an awkward style, man. He's going to be difficult for anybody, especially with that height and that reach. And I honestly think Klitschko would have took him out on the next one, because if you know anything about Klitschko's the kind of guy that has to be motivated to throw. Sometimes he gets lackadaisical in there. That was one of the problems Emmanuel Stewart had with him. He would wait, and he would wait a little bit too long. He had that Adrian Broner style mentality where he would wait and he would wait and he would wait, for a potential opening when there wasn't any, besides throwing punches and initiate attacks. And that's what Klitschko's problem is. But I think, we seen the gloves off in that situation, or it was either the face off or gloves off. I think it was gloves off. And Klitschko looked dead serious. And that's when Tyson Fury came up with failing all these drug tests, and getting these belts stripped from him. You know what I mean? That happened at that time. And I think Klitschko would have done a better job with Tyson Fury. For one, he's been in there with him before, so he knows what to expect. He went back to the drawing board, so he was ready for Tyson Fury in that awkward style. For two, I think that, we never saw the second fight. And when he did fight Joshua, I think he was well prepared, because he was ready, he was motivated. That's what made that fight what it was. Okay. Joshua wasn't a Brewster. That was a long time ago. This was a new and improved, more experienced Klitschko, because he's been in there with more people. Okay. He tasted defeat before. So he knows, okay, I know what to do and what not to do. So he came and he brought all that experience to the table when he fought Anthony Joshua. That's why that fight was what it is. And I think Joshua beat him at a better time in his career, because he had more experience. Okay. So, as far as Ortiz was avoided. What is the difference between Ortiz and Spence? The difference is now Ortiz has been in there with Wilder. He lost to Wilder, okay? But he was the guy that was the most avoided, and he's still avoided. You know what I mean? Joshua, that is true. Joshua, I believe he did duck Ortiz. He didn't want none of that. Wilder fought him. He got the ace in the hole for that. But Wilder has not fought, neither has Fury fought Joshua. So you can't say who's the best in the world or the best middleweight without everyone fighting each other. That's why it makes no sense. That's why I disagree, because Joshua has fought 2 unified champions. He fought Martin and he fought Parker. You know what I mean? Yes, Parker wasn't known or wasn't tested, just like Martin wasn't tested. However, you can't fault the guy for fighting the champions. You can't help who the champions are at the time, okay? And Wilder was coming off an injury anyway when that time, okay? And Fury was going through all types of problems. And then that was 2.5 years ago. He was inactive. So he didn't have a good window of time to pick a Fury fight. Plus, their disagreements for Frank Warren and Eddie Hearn didn't get along anyway. So we have to look at things the way they are instead of making an assessment of Frank Warren just saying that. And let me leave this with you guys. Frank Warren he promotes Tyson Fury, and he believes in Tyson Fury. And, they're in negotiations. So when they're in negotiations to fight each other, of course you would say, hey, the best fighter that wins this fight will be the number 1 heavyweight, not Joshua. Okay, you're doing that for 2 reasons. You're doing that to shit on Joshua and Eddie Hearn, and you're doing it to promote your fight. I get it. So, saying all that to say this, we have to see who will win, who will be victorious when all these guys face each other. Then you can have a fair assessment. Okay, that's my take on it. You guys tell me what you think about this. This is my side. This is my opinion on the other side of the equation. Okay. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been counterpunched. Peace.